The arrival. The vast emptiness of space shimmered as a fleet of sleek, silvery vessels materialized at the edge of Earth's solar system. At the helm of the flagship stood Admiral Zixnar. His four eyes narrowed as he gazed at the holographic display of the blue planet before him. His scaled skin glistened under the soft light of the bridge, tentacles twitching with barely contained excitement. "So this is Earth," Zixnar mused, his voice a low rumble that reverberated through the command deck. It looked so insignificant. The bridge crew, a mix of various alien species from across the galactic hegemony, worked silently at their stations. They knew better than to interrupt the Admiral when he was in one of his contemplative moods. Zixnar had conquered dozens of worlds in his illustrious career, each victory adding to the glory of the hegemony. But Earth was different. It wasn't just another conquest. It was a test. The Galactic Council had long debated whether to make contact with this isolated planet, and now they had finally decided it was time to bring Earth into the fold, willingly or not. "Status report," Zixnar barked, snapping out of his reverie. A slender, green-skinned alien with large, bulbous eyes stepped forward. "Admiral, our scans confirm the Galactic Council's assessment. The humans possess rudimentary spaceflight capabilities and have only begun to explore their own solar system. Their most advanced weapons are based on chemical propellants and crude nuclear fission." Zixnar's mouth twisted into what passed for a smile among his species. "Primitive, just as we expected. This should be a simple operation." He turned to his second-in-command, a burly creature with thick fur and sharp claws. "Commander Gruck, prepare the invasion force. We'll begin with a show of strength to demonstrate our superiority. That should be enough to bring these humans to their knees." Gruck saluted with a clawed hand. "Yes, Admiral. Shall we initiate first contact protocols?" Zixnar waved a tentacle dismissively. "No need for such formalities. These humans are barely out of their stone age compared to us. We'll simply take what we want." As the fleet began to move towards Earth, Zixnar couldn't help but feel a twinge of disappointment. He had hoped for a challenge, something to prove his worth to the Galactic Council. But this would be nothing more than a footnote in his already impressive career. Little did he know, Earth had a few surprises in store. The journey to Earth took mere hours for the advanced alien fleet. As they approached the planet, Zixnar ordered his ships to take up positions around the globe, their cloaking technology rendering them invisible to Earth's primitive detection systems. "Admiral," one of the bridge officers called out, "we're detecting unusual energy signatures from the planet's surface." Zixnar frowned. "Explain." The officer's tentacles danced over the holographic controls. "It's difficult to pinpoint, sir. The energy doesn't match any known human technology. It's almost as if..." "As if what?" Zixnar snapped, his patience wearing thin. "As if something is interfering with our scans," the officer finished, his voice barely above a whisper. For a moment, doubt crept into Zixnar's mind. Could the Galactic Council's assessment of Earth be wrong? No, impossible. He shook off the thought. These were just primitive humans, after all. "It's probably just some quirk of their planet's magnetic field," Zixnar declared confidently. "Prepare the first wave of our invasion force. Let's give these humans a proper introduction to the galactic hegemony." As the invasion ships detached from the main fleet, Zixnar allowed himself a moment of self-congratulation. Soon, Earth would be just another jewel in the hegemony's crown, and he would be hailed as the conqueror of yet another world. The first wave of ships breached Earth's atmosphere, their advanced technology easily evading detection. They headed for major population centers: New York, London, Beijing, Moscow. Zixnar watched through the live feeds as his forces approached their targets. But then something unexpected happened. Alarms blared across the bridge. The invasion ship's signals were disappearing one by one. "What's happening?" Zixnar roared, his composure slipping. The bridge erupted into chaos as officers scrambled to make sense of the situation. Commander Gruck's voice cut through the din. "Admiral, we've lost contact with the first wave. All ships, they're just gone." Zixnar's mind reeled. This was impossible. How could a primitive species like humans possibly? No, there had to be a logical explanation. It must be some sort of atmospheric interference, he declared, more to convince himself than anyone else. Launch the second wave. This time, I want boots on the ground. Show these humans the true might of the galactic hegemony. In the skies above Earth, the stage was set for a confrontation that would change the course of galactic history. Humanity, blissfully unaware of the alien armada poised to strike, was about to face its greatest challenge. And Admiral Zixnar, confident in his superiority, was about to learn a harsh lesson about the true nature of human ingenuity and determination. The invasion of Earth had begun, but it was far from the simple conquest Zixnar had imagined. As the second wave of ships descended towards the planet, the Admiral couldn't help but wonder, what surprises did these supposedly primitive humans have in store? First contact. As the second wave of Zixnar's invasion force pierced Earth's atmosphere, humanity's response was anything but primitive. Across the globe, hidden defense systems whirred to life, their existence a closely guarded secret, even from most of Earth's population. In the White House Situation Room, President Elena Rodriguez stood surrounded by her top military advisors, her face illuminated by the glow of holographic displays showing the approaching alien vessels. "Madam President," General Wei Chen said, his voice steady despite the unprecedented situation. "Project Aegis is online and awaiting your command." Rodriguez nodded, her eyes never leaving the displays. "Activate defensive measures, but hold off on counterattacks. Let's see what these visitors want first." As if on cue, the alien ships halted their descent, hovering ominously over major cities around the world. In New York, London, Beijing, and a dozen other metropolises, millions of people looked up in awe and fear at the massive vessels blocking out the sky. Aboard his flagship, Admiral Zixnar watched the scenes unfolding on Earth with growing unease. The humans weren't panicking as he had expected. Instead, they seemed prepared. "Admiral," Commander Grok reported, "we're detecting energy signatures from the surface. They appear to be some kind of shielding technology." Zixnar's tentacles writhed in agitation. Impossible. The Council's reports said nothing about energy shields. How could they have hidden such technology? Before Grok could respond, a transmission cut through their communications channels. On the main view screen, the image of President Rodriguez appeared, her expression one of determined calm. "This is President Elena Rodriguez of the United Earth Alliance. You have entered our airspace without authorization. State your intentions immediately, or we will be forced to take defensive action." Zixnar was momentarily taken aback by the human leader's boldness. Recovering quickly, he stepped into view of the transmission. "I am Admiral Zixnar of the Galactic Hegemony. Your planet has been chosen for integration into our glorious empire. Surrender now, and your transition will be painless. Resist, and you will be conquered by force." Rodriguez's eyes narrowed. "Admiral, I'm afraid you've made a grave miscalculation. Earth is not some helpless world ripe for conquest. We are a united planet, with defenses beyond your imagination. I strongly advise you to withdraw your forces immediately." Zixnar laughed, a harsh sound that sent shivers down the spines of his own crew. "Bold words from a primitive species. Perhaps a demonstration of our power will change your mind." With a gesture, he cut the transmission. "Target their largest military installation," he ordered. "Show these humans the futility of resistance." On Earth, tensions reached a fever pitch as the alien ship over Washington, D.C. began to power up its weapons. In the Situation Room, General Chen turned to the President. "Ma'am, they're preparing to fire. Permission to activate Aegis." Rodriguez hesitated for a split second, the weight of her decision heavy on her shoulders. Then, with steely resolve, she nodded. "Activate Aegis. Let's show these invaders what humanity is capable of." As the alien vessel unleashed a searing beam of energy towards the Pentagon, The air around Washington shimmered. The beam struck an invisible barrier, dispersing harmlessly into the atmosphere. Aboard his ship, Zixnar stared in disbelief. What just happened? Admiral, Grok reported, his voice shaking. The humans have some kind of energy dispersal field. Our weapons, they're ineffective. Before Zixnar could process this information, alarms blared across the bridge. Earth's hidden defenses had sprung to life, targeting the alien ships with pinpoint accuracy. Beams of concentrated energy lanced up from the ground, slicing through the hulls of several invasion craft. Others found themselves ensnared in gravitational fields that crushed their structures like tin cans. Impossible! Zixnar roared as he watched his invasion force being decimated. How can they possess such technology? The Council's intelligence. It was all wrong. As chaos erupted across the alien fleet, President Rodriguez's face appeared once more on the view screen. Her expression was stern, but there was a glimmer of hope in her eyes. Admiral Zixnar, I'll give you one last chance. Withdraw your forces now, and we can discuss peaceful relations between our peoples. Continue this aggression, and we will have no choice but to defend ourselves with all our might. Zixnar's mind raced. Everything he thought he knew about Earth had been turned on its head. These humans were not the primitives he had expected. They were a force to be reckoned with, possessing technology that rivaled or even surpassed that of the galactic hegemony. As the Admiral grappled with this paradigm shift, the battle raged on. Earth's defenses continued to repel the invasion force, while the remaining alien ships scrambled to regroup. The first contact between humanity and the galactic hegemony had gone disastrously wrong, spiraling into a conflict that threatened to escalate beyond control. As both sides prepared for the next phase of the battle, one thing became clear: the fate of Earth, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. In the tense silence of his command ship, Admiral Zixnar faced the most crucial decision of his career. Could he swallow his pride and retreat? Or would he double down on his invasion, risking everything in a battle against an enemy he had gravely underestimated? As alarms blared and damage reports flooded in, Zixnar realized that the simple conquest he had envisioned had become a fight for survival. The next moves made by both humanity and the galactic hegemony would shape the course of interstellar relations for generations to come. The battle begins. Admiral Zixnar's tentacles twitched nervously as he surveyed the holographic display of the battle. What should have been a swift and decisive victory had turned into a nightmare. Earth's unexpected defenses had decimated his first two waves, and now his remaining forces were scattered and disorganized. "Status report," he barked, trying to keep the tremor out of his voice. Commander Grok's normally imposing figure seemed diminished as he delivered the news. "Admiral, we've lost 40% of our invasion force. The humans' energy dispersal fields are neutralizing our primary weapons, and their counterattacks are devastating." Zixnar's four eyes narrowed. "Then we'll overwhelm them with numbers. Launch all remaining ships. Target their defense installations. We'll grind them down through sheer force." As the order was relayed, the sky above Earth lit up with the arrival of hundreds more alien vessels. It was a terrifying sight, a testament to the vast resources of the galactic hegemony. On the surface, humanity prepared for the onslaught. In military bases, civilian shelters, and hidden bunkers around the world, people steeled themselves for the fight of their lives. In the White House Situation Room, President Rodriguez and her team watched the approaching armada with grim determination. "General Chen, status of our defenses?" Rodriguez asked, her voice steadied despite the dire situation. The general's fingers danced over a holographic interface. "Aegis is holding, Madam President, but the strain on the system is immense. We've never tested it against an assault of this magnitude." Rodriguez nodded. "And our offensive capabilities? Online and ready," Chen replied. "But we're outnumbered. If we're going to win this, we'll need every advantage we can get." The president's eyes gleamed with resolve. "Then it's time to unveil our ace in the hole. Activate Project Prometheus. A collective gasp went through the room. Project Prometheus was the pinnacle of human scientific achievement, a closely guarded secret that even most world leaders were unaware of. As the alien armada descended, the Earth itself seemed to respond. Across the globe, hidden installations hummed to life. In the depths of the Mariana Trench, beneath the ice of Antarctica, and in the heart of the Sahara Desert, massive structures began to rise. Aboard his flagship, Zixnar watched in disbelief as colossal machines emerged from Earth's oceans, ice, and sands. These weren't mere weapons, they were entire cities, self-contained fortresses that dwarfed even the largest ships in his fleet. "What in the name of the Galactic Core are those?" he whispered, his earlier bravado evaporating. The humans' response came not in words, but in action. The fortress cities bristled with weaponry, unleashing a barrage that lit up the sky. Advanced energy weapons, gravity manipulators, and swarms of autonomous drones surged forth to meet the alien invasion. The battle that ensued was unlike anything either side had ever experienced. Zixnar's forces, despite their numbers, found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. Human fighters, piloted by both AI and skilled human operators, danced through the chaos, exploiting weaknesses in the alien formation with almost prescient accuracy. On the ground, Earth's cities were protected by shimmering energy domes, the product of decades of reverse-engineered alien technology and human innovation. When hegemony forces managed to breach these defenses, they were met not by cowering civilians, but by well-prepared and determined resistance fighters. In New York, a group of construction workers used repurposed excavation mech suits to grapple with alien landing craft. In the streets of Tokyo, swarms of miniature drones overwhelmed the invaders' sensors, allowing human special forces to strike with pinpoint precision. As the battle raged on, it became clear that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just its advanced technology, but its adaptability and spirit. Every setback was met with a new solution, every alien tactic countered with human ingenuity. Aboard his flagship, now retreated to a safe distance, Admiral Zixnar watched the unfolding chaos with a mixture of awe and terror. His tentacles curled in agitation as he turned to Commander Grok. "How?" he demanded. "How could we have been so wrong about them?" Grok's reply was interrupted by a proximity alarm. On the view screen, a massive human vessel materialized, dwarfing even Zixnar's flagship. Its sleek design spoke of technology far beyond what the galactic hegemony had believed possible for Earth. A transmission cut through the stunned silence on the bridge. The face of a human admiral appeared, her expression a mix of determination and offer of parley. "This is Admiral Kira Chen of the UES Horizon. You have witnessed but a fraction of Earth's true capabilities. Your invasion has failed. Surrender now, or face the full might of humanity." Zixnar's mind reeled. In the span of a few hours, everything he thought he knew about warfare, about the balance of power in the galaxy, had been upended. The supposedly primitive humans had not only repelled his invasion, but were now poised to strike back. As alerts blared across his ship, warning of multiple targeting locks from the Earth vessel, Zixnar faced the most difficult decision of his life. Should he surrender, accepting defeat and the shame it would bring to the hegemony? Or should he fight on, potentially leading his entire fleet to destruction? The battle for Earth hung in the balance, its outcome poised to reshape the future of not just one planet, but the entire galactic order. And at the center of it all, a humbled alien admiral grappled with the realization that he had grossly underestimated the species he had come to conquer. As Zixnar pondered his next move, the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see how this pivotal moment in cosmic history would unfold. Turning the tide. Admiral Zixnar's four eyes darted between the imposing human vessel on the view screen and the expectant faces of his bridge crew. The silence on the command deck was deafening, broken only by the occasional beep of console alerts. After what seemed like an eternity, Zixnar spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. "Open a channel to Admiral Chen." As the human admiral's face reappeared on screen, Zixnar drew himself up to his full height. "Admiral Chen, I request a ceasefire to discuss terms." A flicker of surprise crossed Chen's face, quickly replaced by stern professionalism. "Agreed. You have 1 hour to prepare your delegation. You will be received aboard the UES Horizon." As the transmission cut off, a wave of murmurs swept through the alien bridge. Commander Grok approached Zixnar, his expression a mix of concern and relief. "Admiral, are you sure about this?" Zixnar's tentacles curled in resignation. "We have no choice, Grok. These humans, they're beyond anything we anticipated. We must learn more before we risk the total annihilation of our fleet." While the alien leadership prepared for negotiations, the battle on and around Earth continued to rage. But now, with their main fleet in retreat, the remaining hegemony forces found themselves increasingly outmatched. In orbit, swarms of sleek human fighters emerged from hidden lunar bases, their pilots executing maneuvers that seemed to defy the laws of physics. The aliens soon realized that these weren't merely skilled human pilots, but a seamless fusion of human and artificial intelligence, each craft guided by both the intuition of a living pilot and the lightning-fast calculations of an AI co-pilot. On the surface, the tide was turning even more dramatically. As alien ground forces pushed into major cities, they encountered resistance that was as creative as it was fierce. In the heart of London, holographic technology transformed the cityscape into a bewildering maze, leaving alien squadrons lost and separated. In Rio de Janeiro, swarms of nanobots rose from the sewers, disassembling alien weaponry molecule by molecule. But it was in the plains of the Midwest United States that humanity unveiled one of its most audacious defenses. As a massive alien landcrawler approached Chicago, the Earth itself seemed to come alive. The sprawling fields rippled and then parted, revealing a vast network of underground facilities. From these subterranean bases emerged humanoid mechs, each standing over 100 feet tall. These weren't merely oversized war machines, but the pinnacle of human engineering and biotechnology. Each mech was piloted by a team of humans, their minds linked directly to the machine's systems, allowing for reflexes and coordination far beyond normal human limits. The alien landcrawler, despite its imposing size, found itself outmatched. The human mechs moved with a grace that belied their massive form, their weapon systems seamlessly integrated with the surrounding terrain. Fields of genetically modified crops launched clouds of disorienting spores, while hidden geothermal taps allowed the mechs to unleash devastating thermal attacks. In orbit, aboard the UES Horizon, Admiral Kira Chen watched the global tactical display with a mix of pride and solemn determination. Humanity was winning, but the cost had been high. A junior officer approached, snapping to attention. "Admiral, the alien delegation has arrived." Chen nodded, taking a deep breath to center herself. This meeting could determine the future of not just Earth, but potentially the entire galaxy. In the Horizon's conference room, Admiral Zixnar and his small delegation found themselves face to face with humanity's leadership. President Rodriguez, having insisted on being present for this historic moment, stood alongside Admiral Chen. As Zixnar's eyes darted around the room, taking in the advanced technology and the resolute expressions of the humans, he felt a sensation he had never experienced before: humility. President Rodriguez broke the tense silence. "Admiral Zixnar, you came to our world seeking conquest. Instead, you found a species ready and willing to defend itself. But we're not just warriors. We're explorers, scientists, dreamers. We don't want this conflict any more than you do now. So let's talk about how we can end this and move forward." Zixnar's tentacles twitched nervously. Your capabilities far exceed anything our intelligence suggested. How is this possible? How did you hide all of this from the galaxy?" Admiral Chen stepped forward, a hint of a smile on her face. "We've known about the wider galactic community for longer than you might think, Admiral. We intercepted transmissions, salvaged crashed scout ships. But instead of announcing ourselves, we prepared. Every alien encounter, every piece of technology we gleaned, drove us to innovate, to push ourselves further. She gestured to the tactical display showing Earth's defenses in action. What you see here isn't just alien technology we've copied. It's a fusion of that knowledge with human ingenuity, our ability to think outside the box and challenge assumptions. Zixnar absorbed this information, his worldview shifting with each passing moment. The humans hadn't just defeated his invasion. They had completely upended his understanding of galactic civilization. As the negotiations began in earnest, the battle outside began to wind down. Alien ships, receiving orders from their command, began to withdraw. Human forces, while remaining vigilant, scaled back their attacks. In cities around the world, people cautiously emerged from shelters, looking up at skies now filled with the contrails of human fighters instead of alien warships. There was damage, yes, but also a palpable sense of unity and triumph. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged victorious. But as the leaders of Earth and the galactic hegemony sat down to chart a new future, one question loomed large in everyone's minds. What would this mean for humanity's place in the wider galaxy? The answers to that question would shape the destiny of not just Earth, but countless worlds across the cosmos. And at the heart of it all was the indomitable human spirit, a force that had proven itself capable of overcoming even the most overwhelming odds. Revelation and resolution. The negotiations aboard the UES Horizon stretched on for hours, the fate of two civilizations hanging in the balance. Admiral Zixnar, once confident in his superiority, now found himself in awe of the humans' diplomatic skills. President Rodriguez and Admiral Chen tag-teamed the discussions, their approaches complementing each other perfectly. As the talks progressed, Zixnar's understanding of humanity deepened. It wasn't just their technological prowess that impressed him, but their adaptability, their creativity, and above all, their unity in the face of adversity. "You must understand," President Rodriguez explained, her voice firm but not unkind. "Earth has a long history of conflict among ourselves. But we've learned from our past. When faced with a common threat, we put aside our differences. Our diversity, which you might have seen as a weakness, is our greatest strength." Admiral Chen nodded in agreement. Each culture, each individual, brings a unique perspective. When we combine these viewpoints, we can solve problems in ways no single approach could achieve. Zixnar's tentacles twisted in a gesture of deep thought. But surely, such diversity leads to chaos, to inefficiency. A smile played on Rodriguez's lips. "Sometimes, yes. Our progress isn't always smooth. We argue, we debate, we make mistakes. But we learn from those mistakes. We innovate, we evolve." As if to punctuate her point, a holographic display sprang to life, showcasing the myriad technologies humanity had developed. Some were clearly inspired by alien tech, but taken in directions the galactic hegemony had never considered. Others were entirely novel, born from the unique crucible of human ingenuity. Zixnar's eyes widened as he took in the display. This changes everything. The Galactic Council must be informed. They need to understand what you truly are. Meanwhile, on Earth, the post-battle reconstruction was already underway. In cities around the globe, humans worked alongside repurposed alien technology to clear debris and rebuild. The scene in New York was particularly poignant, as a group of construction workers, using the same mech suits they had used to fight off the invasion, now carefully lifted a fallen alien craft. Their goal wasn't destruction, but preservation. The ship would become part of a new museum, a testament to humanity's triumph, and a reminder of the broader universe they were now irrevocably part of. In London, holographic technology that had been used to confuse alien troops was now employed to project blueprints of redesigned cityscape, merging traditional architecture with advanced alien-inspired innovations. The city was not just being rebuilt, but reborn. Back on the horizon, the negotiations were reaching a critical point. Zixnar, having conferred with his superiors via quantum-entangled communicators, faced the human leaders with a new sense of respect. The galactic hegemony proposes a ceasefire, he announced, his voice solemn. Furthermore, we wish to extend an invitation to Earth to join the Galactic Council, not as a subjugated world, but as a full member. A ripple of excitement passed through the human delegation, but President Rodriguez remained focused. And the other worlds you've conquered, what of their freedom? Zixnar's tentacles drooped in shame. We. The hegemony will need to reassess many of its policies. Your world has shown us that our approach to galactic civilization may be fundamentally flawed. Admiral Chen leaned forward, her eyes gleaming. Perhaps Earth could assist in this transition. We have experience in forming coalitions among diverse groups, in finding common ground where none seemed to exist. As the discussions continued, a new vision of the galaxy began to take shape. Earth would not just join the galactic community, it would help reshape it. Human diplomats, scientists, and peacekeepers would work alongside alien races to forge a more equitable and dynamic interstellar civilization. The next few months saw rapid changes. Earth's cities were rebuilt, now showcasing a harmonious blend of human and alien architecture. The first human embassies opened on distant worlds, while alien diplomats marveled at the diversity and vibrancy of Earth's cultures. Admiral Zixnar, in a stunning turn of events, became one of humanity's staunchest advocates in the Galactic Council. His first-hand experience of Earth's capabilities and his humbling defeat made him a powerful voice for change within the hegemony. 1 year after the invasion, a ceremony was held in the newly constructed Unity Plaza in Geneva. Representatives from Earth and hundreds of alien worlds gathered to commemorate the anniversary of First Contact and to celebrate the new galactic order that was taking shape. President Rodriguez, standing at the podium before a diverse audience of humans and aliens, smiled as she began her speech. A year ago, we faced our greatest challenge. We were tested, not just in our ability to fight, but in our ability to forgive, to adapt, and to lead. Today, we stand not as conquerors, not as the conquered, but as partners in a grand cosmic journey. Our victory was not just one of weapons and technology, but of the human spirit. Our strength lies not in uniformity, but in our diversity. Not in conquest, but in cooperation. As we look to the stars, we carry with us the lessons of our past and the hopes for our future. Today, we take our place in the galaxy not as subordinates, not as superiors, but as equals. We have much to learn, but also much to teach. Let this day mark not the end of a conflict, but the beginning of a new era of exploration, innovation, and unity. As cheers erupted from the assembled crowd, the sky above Geneva lit up with a spectacular display. Human and alien ships flew in formation, their lights painting the atmosphere in a dazzling array of colors. It was a testament to how far they had come, and a beacon of hope for the journey ahead. Admiral Zixnar, watching from the audience, felt a sensation he had never experienced before his encounter with Earth: optimism for the future. He realized that in trying to conquer this primitive world, he had instead discovered something far more valuable: a civilization that could help guide the galaxy towards a brighter future. As the celebration continued into the night, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter. Humanity had not only survived its trial by fire, but had emerged stronger, wiser, and ready to take its place among the stars. The galaxy would never be the same, and for once, change was not something to be feared, but embraced. The future, vast and unknown, beckoned, and humanity, with its indomitable spirit and newfound allies, was ready to answer its call.